P&O Ferries caused public outrage when they sacked 800 members of staff by Zoom call. They are then reported to have replaced them with overseas workers being paid £1.80 an hour. We talked on a previous show about how this is an example of the darkest side of capitalism, and today at Prime Minister's Questions, Boris Johnson said P&O actions had probably broken the law.
Well, Mr. Speaker, we condemn the callous behaviour of P&O, and I think that it is no way to treat hard-working employees. And I can tell him that we will not sit by, Mr. Speaker, because under Section 194 of the Trades Union and Labour Relations Act of 1992, it looks to me, Mr. Speaker, as though the company concerned has broken the law. And we will be taking action, therefore, and we will be encouraging workers themselves to take action under the 1996 Employment Rights Act. Both acts, Mr. Speaker, passed by Conservative governments. And if the company is found guilty, then they face fines running into millions of pounds, Mr. Speaker. And in addition, we will be taking steps to protect all mariners who are working in UK waters and ensure that they are all paid the living wage, Mr. Speaker.
Johnson said there that P&O broke the law under a very specific piece of legislation. That's the Trade Union and Labour Relations Act of 1992. And it is true, under that act, employers are obliged to give the government at least 45 days' notice if they intend to make 100 or more employees redundant. They can be fined an unlimited sum if they don't. As you'll know, P&O Ferries only gave 1 day's notice to the government for sacking 800 of their staff. However, the company deny they have broken any laws. They refer to a change in the Labour Relations Act made in 2018. This excluded ship owners from any requirement to notify the UK government of any redundancies. As you can see, the amendment says that when it comes to seafarers, the employer shall give the notification required to the competent authority of the state where the vessel is registered, instead of the Secretary of State. Despite operating in the UK, P&O's ferries are registered in Cyprus, the Bahamas and Bermuda. P&O said in a statement, the very clear statutory obligation in the particular circumstances that applied was for each company to notify the competent authority of the state where the vessel is registered. All relevant vessels are registered outside the UK. Notification was made to the relevant authorities on March the 17th. For their part, the Seafarers Union are disputing that the 2018 amendment lets P&O off the hook. They argue that the sackings were illegal because under British law, redundancies have to be negotiated with workers and unions, and that this applies in this instance because the contracts of the P&O workers specified they were employed within the UK's jurisdiction. Francis O'Grady at the TUC said, for all their bluster and denial, all the signs point to P&O breaking the law. UK law requires companies to consult with workers and unions before making redundancies. In their letter to ministers last night, the company are clear that they did not do this. I'll leave this one for the lawyers to argue. I'm not sure I can give you a categorical answer about the law there. In the meantime, though, let's look at how Keir Starmer responded to Boris Johnson's handling of the sackings.
82,000 seafarers in this country. I've spoken to dockers, engineers, deckhands and sailors. They're all worried about what this means for them. Yeah. This morning, one of them said to me, if P&O can get away with this, other companies will get rid of us too and replace this with cheap labour from abroad. Why does the Prime Minister think that they will take a crumb of comfort from his half-arsed bluster and waffle today?
Labour are pushing for the government to ban fire and rehire practices. That would be in all industries. We know that the legality of this one, because it was on a ferry, seems to be complicated. But we know that British Gas, for example, they used hire and fire to get rid of loads of their workers, and that was very much uncontroversially within the UK's jurisdiction. Finally, as I said, legality or otherwise of this particular series of sackings of P&O workers is above my pay grade. What is clear, though, is that the 2018 amendment we've outlined has put those workers, those P&O workers, at a weaker position than they otherwise would be. And it's worth noting who was in charge of that change. It's this man, then Transport Secretary Chris Grayling. Grayling, after stepping down from the cabinet in 2019, went on to take up a lucrative job advising Hutchison Ports. This holding company, based in the Virgin Islands, owns and operates Harwich and Felixstowe ports, and they now pay Grayling £100,000 per year for 7 hours work per week. That works out as £275 per hour, which is 152 times the hourly pay of the new P&O Ferry employees.